tell. Cockerel, he's just a true guy. You'll have a true time. Tell. Cockerel, leave your troubles at the door. You know the game, you know the score. We're here to have fun, so holster that gun and read the writing on the wall. The Predictions League, done every week. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel, he's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. Jose gets himself around, always talking Spurs wherever he is found, home or away. He always tips to win, throws the form book in the bin with a cheeky knowing grin. Tell, Cockerel, he's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. The Predictions League, done every week. It just goes on and on and on and on. Why do I always get it wrong? Every time I play along. Tell Cockerel, the show is so chilled, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell Cockerel. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell Cockerel, the show is so chill, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell Cockerel.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Tell Cockerel Week 8 competition results. I'm going to be absolutely brutally honest with you all. I forgot all about the show. I really did. I thought to myself, 10:15. I was watching telly. I think to myself, 10:15. Is there something missing? And I thought, shit, I've got to do the results show. So my tardiness, all down to me. But I hope you're all well. I hope everyone's had a good day. I hope everyone's continuing to have a good day. And I hope those that have had a good day have a good tomorrow. But yeah, welcoming everyone. It's the results show for the 3 games that we play. I don't know whether people are still here or not, but we'll give you the scores anyway. Right, Talking Ball was here earlier. A lot earlier, hours ago, saying I hope everyone is doing well. Colin, I hope you are well, sir, over there in the States. Ryan was here just before the show started. I presume he's still around. Says good evening, Jose. Evening all, says Kuva. Drula, I know, has had to disappear, and I hope everything goes well for you, Drula. Good afternoon, Alan. I hope you are well. Daz is here. Good evening, Daz. I hope you're well too. Miss Jess, I hope you are well. Archer, good evening to you, sir. I hope you're well. Shemtam is here. Says good evening. So I don't know, Telites. in the chat. I hope you're all well this evening. Good evening, Shemtam. I hope you're well. Vindaloo, I'm not even going to read the crap that he writes because he's here, he's there, and he's everywhere. And he's all gone. He's gone. He says bye-bye. Drewler's had to shoot off. Ian says, hi all. Arsenal were painfully good tonight. Didn't watch. Don't know. Ed M says, evening, Jose in chat. And Ian says, hey, Kuva, great call on the Palace Bournemouth game. All will be revealed. All will be revealed. Let me get it up so I've got it on double screen. Right. Let me get it up. Let me get it up here as well. Right. Game week 8. Right. Game week 8 is where we're on. Game week 8. Right. So we normally start, as we always do, with Predict the Football. And in Predict the Football this week, we have the following scores. Following scores on the doors, if you please allow. So, in Predict the Prem, we have the players that are playing. Quez hasn't played for a while. Is 23rd with a point. Patrick O'Donnell's 22nd. Side Dance is 21st. Darren is 20th. Ed M is 19th. Daz is 18th. Mr. Week. Tot Spurs is Mr. Week. He's 17th. Carl Simpson's missed one game and he's 16th. Rob Belcher. Sir Rob's 15th. I hope Sir Rob's well. Ryan, 79, is missed a game, but he's in 14th. Neil is in 13th. He's missed 5 games. Ronnie is in 12th. Archer has missed 1 game. He's in 11th. Chris Peters has missed 1 week. No, Chris Peters hasn't missed anything and he's in 10th. Graham is in 9th. Paul G, he's missed three weeks and 1 game and he's in 8th. Jess, young Jess, is in 7th. God, there's a little train there. Jess Fiona's in 6th and Shemtam's in 5th, all with 57, but goal difference counts in this, which puts Shemtam up in 5th. Shemtam nosebleed time. Scott Colliver's up in 4th. Vindaloo, the Scrag, Vindaloo is in 3rd. Not even 2nd, Vindaloo, mate. Look, you're 3rd there. Kevin Clark, Kev, chasing me in 2nd place, but yours truly is top by 26 points. I kind of took a battering this week because my goal difference has come down to just +8. So I kind of took a battering on the goals this week. So I'm just finishing my coffee. So in this competition, Jose leads the way. Right. The second games that we show you is Fantasy Football League. And in Fantasy Football League this week, we have 62 players are still in the league. And the players that have moved up are those in green. So Jack Spurs is in 59th with 44 points this week, taking him to 321. Daz, so our very own Daz Reynolds, has gone into 55th. 39 points this week has put him on 342. Alan, with his team venture, Raptors Madness, up to 52nd with 74 points. Big points for Alan this week. And then Neil, 59 points. It's put him into 50th on 383. Peter Parrott, 67 points. It's put him on 395 and up to 44th. Alfie Hall, 66 points, putting him on 406, up to 41st. Kate from Kate and Jimbo, 80 points this week. Cool, a big score for Kate. Puts her on 417. She's climbed into 38th. Marlon from Spurs Kings TV decided to make a move this week. 87 points, puts him on 423 and up to 36th. Our very own Ryan chipped in with 74 points this week, puts him on 434 up to 30th. Blake, 76 points this week, puts him on 435 and up to 29th. Grant, my man Grant from Brighton, 63 points puts him on 437 and up to 28th. Top Spurs, 60 points this week puts him on 443 and up to 26th. Brian Timlin, 62 points puts him on 446 and up to 24th. Adrian Chia, 69 points puts him on 453 and up to 20th. Mr. Jose, 66 points this week puts him on 458 and up to 18th. Very own Archer, 62 points this week puts him on 468 and up to 15th. Tanju, 69 points puts him on 475 and up to 14th. Our very own Ronnie, big score, 91 points, puts him on 507 and in 8th place. Joint 8th with young Robbie from Lily White Lane, scored 86, big scores for him as well. Puts him also on 507 and joint 8th. Nick Collison, 79 points, puts him on 531 and gets him up to 4th place. Ed M, flying, 69 points for Ed this week, puts him on 541 and puts him into 2nd place. But Steve Riffamato, 82 points, puts him on 550, so he leads the LTEL Cockerel Fantasy Premier League. So well done to Steve Riffamato for leading this competition. And then it's what you've all came for. Tell me how you think you did this week. How did you think you did this week? Remember, I'll only say yes or no to the score you think you got. And if you got a different score, I'll just say no. But I won't declare your score until the end. But if you tell me that your score's correct, I will say, bang on, you got that score. Anyone want to guess their scores before I give the results? Ed M says, not great. He got 4. Really? No, Ed M. You did not score 4. Anybody else? No? No one else wanting to play the game today? You're bored? You're footballed out? Ryan G says he doesn't know his score. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, Ryan? Maybe 8. No. No 8 for you, mate. You got 1 correct score, and that's all you know. Okay, Ryan, fair enough. Anybody else want to hazard a guess on what they scored? Some of you might know because some of you write them down. Obviously, I have to write them down, otherwise I wouldn't keep track of what you all predicted or what we've all predicted. But I know that some of you keep a track of what you're doing. Right, so there were 27 people that took part this week. Right, so what did I say? 27 people took part this week. 7 people got into double figures. The average for this week is 8.1. So 27 people this week, 7 people got double figures, and the average is 8.1. So basically, a 9 and above makes you above average this week. An 8 and below, you're below average this week. Yeah? Well, seeing that you're all really fun tonight, and you're as bothered as what I was because I forgot all about this. Here's the scores for this week. So the first game ended Notts Forest 0, Chelsea 3. The only person that correctly predicted this was Wayne Bonner. Anyone else in an orange predicted a away victory and scored a point. Interestingly, the second game was Brighton 2, Newcastle 1. 10 people correctly predicted the Brighton Newcastle score. And that was it. No one predicted any home victory of any other description. It was 10 people that correctly predicted the score. And the correct predictions came in from yours truly, from Jess, Drula, Shemtam, Colin B, Totspurs, Alan, Young James, Neil, and Nita, all bagging themselves 3 points. And by the looks of it, some of us needed them 3 points. The next game ended up being Burnley 2, Leeds 0, and the only person who scored a home victory was Scott C and picked up 1 point. Then we went on to Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, a bonkers game, a 3-3 draw. Nobody predicted the 3-3 draw, but you have people that predicted 1-1 and 2-2, and therefore in orange they picked up a point. Then we went to Manchester City 2, Everton 0. Graham predicted this correctly, so did Scott C. So did Ronnie, so did Kuva, so did Ian, and so did Ed M. All predicted 2-0, picked up the green. Anyone else that predicted a home victory would have scored an orange, would have scored a point. Only a couple of people there didn't score a point in that game. And then we went to Sunderland versus Wolves. So it's Sunderland 2, Wolves 0. And there were 2 correct predictions, Chris Peters and Wayne Bonner. Everybody else that's got orange predicted a home win, but not by the correct score. And Fulham versus Arsenal. Next, it was 0-1. And the only person that correctly predicted the 0-1 victory was Kuva. For his second green, a 4 that he got. And anybody else that's got an orange predicted an away victory. Then we move on to Tottenham versus Aston Villa. There's only one person who correctly predicted an away win and got the green for that, and that is the scrub called Vindaloo, who got a green for that for 1-2. Liverpool 1, Manchester United 2. Nobody, not one person predicted, not one person predicted a correct score or a Man United victory there. It was either, I don't even know whether people went for a draw. Did anyone go for a draw? It looks like no. Everybody for Liverpool Man United went for a home win. We then move on to West Ham 0, Brentford 2. Now, I didn't see this game, but I was, from what I've been led to believe, West Ham were woeful. And Brentford won. Nobody correctly predicted the scoreline, but those in orange all picked up a point each for correctly predicting an away victory. What I will say, and what's difficult, is that we all do predictions based on what we think is going to happen. However, what I will say is that when I heard the lineup for West Ham, because I play football on a Monday night, as you're well aware, and on the way to football, I was listening to the Talk Sport. No, sorry. When I finished playing, I was walking back home from football. It takes about 40 minutes. And I heard the lineup for West Ham, and I thought to myself, shit, and I've gone for them to win 2-1. And I knew then I weren't going to get a victory because I saw the lineup they put out. Liverpool versus Man United, you look at the lineup Liverpool put out. Liverpool dropped players and mixed and matched their team around. You know, Forest Chelsea, when I saw the lineup for Chelsea, and they'd mixed and matched as well, I thought Forest are going to have a great chance of winning this. Watched the first half, Forest all over them, went out shopping, got back, they were 2-0 down. So yeah, it's kind of weird because we all select our scores, but we don't know what the team lineups are going to be until an hour before kickoff. So, But anyway, it is what it is. And then we went on to the bonus games. The bonus games, the first one was from Austria, and it was Core versus Gore. And Core versus Gore meant it was Corona Kielce versus Gornik Zabre, and that ended up as a 1-1 draw. And there were correct predictions. There were only 4 correct scores, or sorry, 5, but they were all correct predictions. And they came in from Ryan G, Kuva, bagging his 3rd green there, Neil and Nita, and Vindaloo. Vindaloo bagging his 2nd of his 3rd greens there. Then we went to Rizzaspor 1, Transornspor 2. And the correct predictions for this game came in from yours truly, Drew Lala, Colin B, and Ellie, and Vindaloo getting his 3rd green of the weekend by correctly predicting that. And then we went to a big goal-scoring game. WSG Tyrol versus Austria Vienna ended up 2-3, and the correct prediction came in from Kuva, was the only person that didn't score, that scored points. He's the only person that scored points. Sorry, he's the only person. Everyone else in orange scored a point. So you've got the scores on the doors for this week is Jose scored 9, David scored 5, Archer scored 7, Jess double figures 10, good effort. Drula scored 9, above average. Daz Reynolds scored 3, Shentam scored 9, Colin B double figures 10, above average. Ryan G a 9, Graham 7, Totspurs 9, Alan 10 points, double figures, done well, good effort. Scott C got 7, Ronnie 8, Carl 7, Kuva, man of the week, 17 points. Well done, Kuva, man of the week. Man of the week by a distance. James scored 8, Paul G scored 1, Ian scored 8, Chris Peters 7, Neil scored 9, Nita got 11. Brilliant score for Nita, 11 points. Edem scored 7. Ellie scored 6. Nick scored 3. Vindaloo scored 12. So well done, Vindaloo. And Wayne Bonner scored 11. So well done, Wayne. Good effort from you. So what that then does to the league, as you're well aware, with the league, what we do is anyone in green has moved up. But this week, what I've done is I've highlighted those in yellow that have gone in and passed the 100 point mark as well. So the table is as such. So Neil has gone up into 24th place with 74 points. Nita has gone into 15th with 98. Ellie has moved up. All the people in yellow, by the way, have moved up. Kuva would have been yellow as well, but I put him in as green, but he would have yellow as well, meaning that they've all broken 100. So Ellie's gone into 14th with 101. Alan is 13th with 101. Jess has gone to 12th with 102. Colin B has gone into 11th with 102. And Kuva jumped up with his 17 points to 10th with 103. But all them people there from Ellie up to Kuva all broke the 100-point mark. So from 43 players, we currently have 14 already broken 100 points. And further up the food chain, as we call it, Scott Colliver has gone into 7th. Ian Meth has gone up into 6th. And then the rest of the table has remained the same, with yours truly leading from Vindaloo by 15 points. Vindaloo's cut the lead because Vindaloo got 3 points better than me. So I was 18 ahead. Now I'm only 15 ahead of Vindaloo. Archer, surprisingly, had a poor week this week, Archer, and only picked up 7 points. So they are your scores on the doors. Right, let me see what your comments are saying. Okay, right. So, um, Ed says something seriously wrong at West Ham, and it ain't the managers. Yeah, do you know what, Ed? Like I said, I say this all the time, Ed. If you closed your eyes, right, and you listened to a podcast, right, from you listened to a podcast from a West Ham point of view, right, and you didn't know it was a West Ham point of view, but you closed your eyes and all you did was listen to the audio, right? You would have thought they were describing Daniel Levy. The way they keep talking about their chairman always talks. Sorry, the way they describe the chairman always getting involved in transfer dealings, picking the side, getting in in with the players, you know, um, poor decision making, penny pinching, everything that you used to associate with that people used to associate with Daniel Levy. If you close your eyes and listen to West Ham pods or to Spotify or wherever you can listen to these shows, you would honestly think to yourself that the conversation that was being had from West Ham supporters was Daniel Levy. I mean, I made the mistake while Daniel Levy was still at Tottenham. I heard some podcasts, and I've been on podcasts. I've been on with Tony's West Ham podcast, and I'm listening to the panel talk, and I just turned around on the show and I said, "Do you know what? If I close my eyes, you're all describing Daniel Levy. When they're describing Sullivan, it's exactly the same as them as if they were describing Daniel Levy. So yeah, West Ham is a mess. Yesterday, yesterday did they play yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday they played. So yesterday they had a boycott. So people gave up their tickets. But when they gave up the tickets, the thing that they did is they put them on the exchange at West Ham. They gave up the tickets. They didn't go to the game, and they saved. They gave up this tickets. But apparently, West Ham resold all the tickets that had been put back into the exchange. The people that were putting them back into the exchange ended up getting money for that game, even though they didn't attend it because someone bought the ticket. So you're right for doing wrong, and you're wrong for doing right. So it's difficult to assess what West Ham need to do in order to um, get out of what they are. But the problem is, and a lot of them say it's all directed from their chairman, their owner. It's all directed from there. Now, with the lineup, like I said, with the lineup they put out yesterday, Nuno Espirito Santo played with a back four yesterday, and the four players he selected were the four players that didn't go on international duty. Apparently they didn't go on international duty, so he had the 2 weeks to work with these back four to drill them for the game. Hence why he didn't pick what's his name? Malik, is it his name's Malik? Malik Diouf or whatever. The player that they bought, he's been really good, the left back they bought. They didn't pick him because he was on international duty. I didn't pick one of the centre halves didn't play as well because he went with the four players that could be able to work on for the whole 2 weeks. And I looked at their team and I thought, oh my god, they play with no recognised striker. So a little stat, right? West Ham, since they had Marlon Harewood, Bobby Zamora, and the chap that got one England cap that broke his leg, Dinos. Dinos? No, it wasn't Dinos. It was Dean something or other, weren't it? The striker that they had, but a big boy, a tall fella. He only got one England cap. But anyway, in 2000 and I think it might have been 2000 and early. It was before 2010. But anyway, West Ham had three strikers then, right? Since then, since they lost Dean Ashton, that's it. Dean Ashton, Marlon Harewood, and Bobby Zamora. Since they've all left the club, and all three were there at the same time. Since they've left the club, right? Since they left the club, West Ham have bought 54 strikers. So in 16 years, West Ham has bought 54 strikers. And yesterday, for this match, they played Somerville as a false nine. So they've got Fulkrug, who's injured all the time. They've got Callum Wilson, who they bought, who's injury prone, right? And the player they let go of because of his injury last season was the boy that had the crash. They let him go, and he was the one that scored all the goals. When they bought the fella that had the crash, his name escapes me now, but the fella that had the crash, when they bought him, right, he was bought as a wide player. He came through non-league football, and then he came through the leagues, and they bought him as a wide player. But he's been the best forward and the source of goals for West Ham until they let him go last season. So West Ham are a mess. Yes, they play Leeds United on Friday, and no disrespect to West Ham, but I'm wanting Leeds to put them to the sword, really. I'd like to see Leeds get an absolute cricket score against them, is what I'd like to see. And I'm sure the Leeds supporters would like that as well. But I just think that, at the end of the day, you've got to do something about it. And I don't know what they do, West Ham, but they've got to do something about it. I mean, either you recruit better players or you change the way that you recruit. Something's got to happen. But yeah, Calvert-Lewin could well score a hat trick Friday night. Could well score a hat trick. Feed him, and he could well score a hat trick on Friday night against this West Ham team. Paquetá and Jared Bowen. If I'm Paquetá and Jared Bowen, knowing the way that this club's being run at the moment, Paquetá and Bowen would do well for looking for other clubs. I'd take both of them. I'd take both Paquetá and Jared Bowen. I mean, we took Mohamed Kudus from West Ham, and look, he's been a revelation for us. Paquetá is a really, really good player, and Jared Bowen is fantastic as well. Yeah, I'd take both. Fucking hell, it weakens them, but it strengthens us. But I'd take both of them. Because why would you want to hang about, and be somewhere where the like we had the poison dwarf, they've got their own poison dwarf, and he gets involved in absolutely everything. So, Johnny TTID says, how come Ellie doesn't have a membership and her points still count? Ellie has got a membership. Ellie's got several accounts, but she has a membership, and through her membership, she's able to partake in these shows. Whether she uses her account with her membership on it or not, she sometimes Ellie, because she can't log into that account, she cannot come on the shows because the shows is members only. She can't come on to the shows and leave her scores. So then she has to leave them in the comments section. But Ellie has an account that has membership, and hers is a recurring membership that she fulfills every month. So yeah, every month it rolls over, whatever you call it, a recurring membership. It just happens. But if she doesn't use the one that she's paid with, then when we do the shows, it is members only. When it comes to the chat for the prediction shows, it just means she can't leave any predictions there. But I wouldn't worry about it, Johnny T2ID. If you want to play, mate, because I see you've come in before. If you want to play, get yourself a membership and play. At the end, unless you're somebody else and you've already got a membership, But then you would have told me. But yeah, don't worry, it's all above board. All above board. Ryan, I saw Ryan come in earlier. Trestain, that is. There he is. And he's put a super chat. He says, big up, Isaac. Hope you're having a wonderful night. What's the weather like in England? And then he's put in his 3-month member badge saying, big up, Jose. Hope you're having a wonderful night. Ryan, I don't know where you are. I thought you lived up in Scotland. But by the sounds of it, you might be away on holiday at the moment. And if you are away on holiday, Ryan, where are you? Tell me. The weather like here in England at the moment, The weather like here at the moment where I am, I mean, it's different for everybody throughout the country. Where I am today hasn't been that bad. We had rain this morning, but it hasn't been that bad. No rain this evening, but I've seen the forecast for tomorrow, and it appears that from tomorrow evening, I'm going to say from about 10 o'clock tomorrow night, we have got so much rain and high winds coming in for Thursday, just for tomorrow night and into Thursday. When's the next prediction show? Jose asked, Jess asking me. Jess, it's a good job that you've asked me that because I'll have a look. Let me have a look at my diary for work. There's a game on Friday night. Yeah, Leeds are playing, aren't they? Leeds are playing, so that might be cutting it fine, leaving it to Friday night. Let me have a look. So, oh, you are in Scotland. I thought you was on holiday, Ryan. Why you asked me the question? Yeah, the weather's not so bad. Ah, Nick's here. Says, man, I suck this week. Nick, happens to all of us, mate. We have good days and bad days. Right. So the Friday game. Friday, that's the 31st. That's the wrong one. The 24th, Leeds play West Ham. And then you've got 4 games on Saturday, 5 games Sunday. Okay, so it appears. Right. So therefore, with that being said, Jess, I think that the show will either do. I was going to say 4 o'clock on Thursday, but do you know what? Because we get some of the Americans in, like your Nick's here at the moment, and Alan's here, and sometimes the Australians wake up early in the morning. I may well do it at 10 o'clock in the evening again on Thursday. I'll go for 10 o'clock in the evening on Thursday. Ryan T says I'm too stressed and I'm not sleeping properly at the moment. And Jess says she's the same. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's stressing you out, Ryan, but it's not good to be stressed. And I'm with Jess as well. Jess is, I'm not too sure. Got an idea, but I'm not too sure. Um, I don't know. Stress, you trying to, with stress, it's difficult because you try and take certain things and certain elements that avoid you getting or avoid you heightening your stress levels. But the issue is that some people can't do that. It's easier said than done. It all depends on the mechanisms that you've got around you and stuff like that. It's difficult, and I feel really, really, really gutted. Gutted would be the right, yeah, gutted for the few people that are stressed up. And it's hard. It's difficult because some people have got a support network, um, and some people haven't, and those that haven't suffer a lot more because a lot of people suffer in silence with their stress and stuff like that. But I hope that you find things that you can do that lower your stress levels, and that'd be a step in the right direction. um but yeah, Thursday, I will do Thursday. Ryan says that's me, Jose. Don't, yeah, you've got no network up in Scotland, Ryan. I take it from that's your comment there. I take it you haven't got no network up there. I know that you live on your own with the cats because I've been on screen with you before, mate. So Finn, good evening, young Finn, says big up Jose. Good evening, Finn. I hope you're well, sir. I hope work's well, Finn, as well. Yeah, so what we'll do is the predictions will be on Thursday at 10 p.m. We'll do them at 10 p.m. on Thursday rather than 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because quite honestly, when I do them when I've done them at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you wouldn't believe the amount of people that leave them in the comments after, and the amount of people that I have to then go back, and I'm continuously going back and updating and updating and updating. I did loads of updating on Saturday. Yeah, I did loads of updating on Saturday. Jess offering her support to you, Ryan. There, it's very, very kind of Jess. Yeah, I end up doing loads and loads of work after the show. I don't even know when we did the results last week or the predictions last week, but whenever we did them last week, I found myself doing loads on Friday, and I found myself doing loads on Saturday. Because I think the first game was 12:30, wasn't it? Yeah, there was loads that were put in there Saturday pre the first kickoff. The only person that missed the first kickoff was Nick. Nick missed the first game and the first bonus game because the first bonus by the time he put his in, the first two games are already kicked off. So yeah, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pick a time that works for me, works with my work as well, where I can get them done and ensure that it lessens the amount of people that leave them after the show. I mean, some people can't make it and they have to leave them after the show, and I understand that. But when you're getting loads and loads and loads and loads in there, then it's interesting that I just don't seem to ever step away from this. It's been very, very peaceful, not having. It's very, very peaceful not being on YouTube so much anymore. Um, and at the end of the day, I've calmed down the amount of shows that I do. I only do this now, and I know that Sunday I'm going to be asked to do Chang's been pestering me because I've been away and I've been doing things, but I think I'm going to have to do a show on Sunday for Chang. Tomorrow I've been asked to host the pump up show tomorrow and on Sunday. So I'll be doing the pump up show tomorrow and Sunday because I have been asked to do some others, but I've not been around. I've been at football. I was at football last weekend. I went to the Coffin Bowl. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, for anyone that's listening, is now officially for me the Coffin Bowl. When I turn around and say to people that your fans should be your 12th man, we don't have a 12th man. The stadium is a Coffin Bowl. When I used to go to White Hart Lane, it was raucous. All four sides of the pitch, always raucous. Go to the I went on Sunday again, and honestly, Aston Villa only sang twice. Well, no, Aston Villa sang about 4 times, but definitely when they scored their goals, and you could hear them, and it's as if they were lifting the rafters off, and they've got this like tiny little section in the corner between the north and the east stand, and you would have thought that they had the whole stadium the way that you could hear them singing. It's just a Coffin Bowl. You get the glory, glory Tottenham Hotspur at the start. You get that before the game kicks off. You get a little bit of a rendition of that. Then after that, it was completely dead. We scored our goal, and yeah, a quick cheer, and it was a very quick cheer, and then everyone's talking to each other, and you're just like, people ain't engrossed in the game. And what I will say is that I was absolutely incensed by some of the language that I could hear from a gentleman that's directly behind me. He was in the row behind me, and there's a big group of them, and he had his daughter with him there as well. So his daughter must have been in her 20s. So it meant that the gentleman weren't a young chap either. And some of the stuff that was coming out of his mouth, I was just, oh my God. He could have incited riots, some of the stuff that was coming out of his mouth. And I just thought to myself, oh my God. I hope that when I go back to the Coffin Bowl again, I don't have anyone like that near me. God. But today, I purchased my tickets today. So as people might be aware, I'm trying to go to 3 o'clock games on a Saturday, and it appears that they sell them in blocks of 3 at Tottenham. So the first block of 3 was Burnley, Bournemouth, Wolves. They were the first 3 home games of the league, and I didn't buy the Wolves one because the Wolves one was 2 o'clock Sunday, which they then changed to an 8 o'clock Saturday evening. But then the next 3 tickets that were available were Villa, Chelsea, Man U. All 3 PMs when I bought the tickets. Villa got changed to a Sunday at 2 p.m., which was last Sunday. Chelsea game in 2 weeks' time has now been bought or put back So instead of 3 o'clock on a Saturday, it's now 5:30 on a Saturday. Now, if I lived in London around the corner, it's not a problem, but I've got a 3 hour travel to get to the stadium. So um, it's now 5:30. And then the week after that, I'm going to Man United. Instead of being 3 o'clock, that's been brought forward now to 12:30. Now that's not so bad. It just means that I get up to London and I have to get up really early, get up there really early. But it just means that if I don't hang about and that, I'll be back home earlier on for that game. Well, yesterday Tottenham released the tickets for, I think it was Liverpool, Sunderland, West Ham, right? Liverpool, Sunderland, West Ham. And there was an error. Amazon went down yesterday, apparently. And because it went down, they couldn't release the tickets. Well, anyway, the tickets were released today, and Mr. Jose forgot to go and sign in at 10 o'clock this morning. So I actually forgot, and it was about 2 o'clock this afternoon when I thought, oh, yeah, the tickets have come out. So I went online to try and secure tickets. Liverpool completely sold out. There was no Liverpool tickets at all. Completely sold out. So I couldn't get Liverpool tickets. So I've ended up getting myself West Ham on the 3rd of January. Sunderland on the 3rd of January. I've got West Ham on the 16th of January. And I actually went and bought Brentford tickets. So Brentford are playing Tottenham in November, I think. Oh no, December the 6th. So I'm going to that. Fulham is at 8 o'clock kickoff in the evening, and I'm not going to go to Fulham at 8 o'clock in the evening. So it's not worth my while doing that. So that means that by the time we've played West Ham on the 16th of December, home games in the Premier League, I would have only missed 3. And that would have been Wolves, Fulham, and Liverpool. At the moment, I'm going to see how I feel because the Liverpool game's on the 20th of December at 5:30 in the evening. So that won't be changed. That's 5:30 because that's going to be on telly. So I will do that, and yeah, I'll do that, and I'll see because I saw Phil P at the stadium. I met his dad, his brother, his kids, and all that on Saturday. I had a chat with them. I met Sean Butler Saturday as well. Went and met Sean and Blaine Devlin. So Super Spurs TV, Blaine Devlin. I went and met Blaine, and I met Blaine and I met Sean Butler there as well. I was going to meet Adrian after the game, but I just thought to myself, you know what? It was so shit, the game, and I just couldn't be asked to hang about, so I left. And there was problems with the trains anyway. Ryan, how do I get in the WhatsApp group, mate? Right, Ryan, the only way you can do it is do you use X, Ryan? So Ryan, do you use you don't use X? Well, the only other way to do it, Ryan, and it's a bit difficult, is you need a phone number. In order to get into a WhatsApp group, you need a phone number, but we need to get your number to put you into the WhatsApp group. So I'm trying to see which way to do it, where where you can, of how you can get it across. What does got one mean? Sorry, Ryan, I didn't understand it. Got one. So Ryan, when have you got anybody's phone number, Ryan? Anybody's at all? Anybody that I might know? Because then I could ask them to pass your number. Have you got numbers for anybody in the YouTube scene or in the YouTube area that I might have their numbers as well? And if I have, then I can ask them for your number and get it added. No, you haven't got anyone's number. So when you do your shows, then how do you? Who's the fella that you were doing your shows with? Brian. Brian what? What's his surname? Paul. Brian Paul. On your channel, there was two of you. There was you and another fella. Because if that fella's part of a WhatsApp group, I've got Brian's number on top. Okay, so you got Brian Daigle's number. Does Brian have your number, Ryan? Yeah, he means Daigle, and I understand that. Ryan, does Brian have your number? Yeah, okay. So message Ryan, sorry, Ryan, message Brian and ask Brian, so tell Brian to tell me to tell Brian for you to give me your number. Yeah. So message Brian and say, can you pass my number on to Jose? Because Brian's got my number. And if he passes me on your number, then I can put you into a couple of the WhatsApp groups. And the couple of WhatsApp groups will contain Jess and will contain Kuva. Yeah? Well done, Ryan. Yes, if you do that, just tell Brian that you want to pass your number on to me, and Brian will do that. Yeah? And then I'll put you in the groups that you can we'll put you in our group, I'll tell Cockerell, but then I'll also put you in contact with Jess and Kuva. Glad we sorted that one out. That's good. So yeah, people, that's about it. I think so just going to finish off on Sunday's game. Yeah, Sunday's game was just awful for me. I just watched it and I know that Rome's not built in a day, right? And I know that already. And we've gone from being a team that played one way last season to a team that's playing totally different this season. I felt that we were too passive, too standoffish. You know, both the goals that were scored by Aston Villa were preventable in my eyes. And I felt that the shots, although people are going to say well taken goals, Vicario frightens the life out of me. Now, apparently, stats say that Vicario saved Tottenham on a few occasions. You know, at the end of the day, for me, Vicario frightens the life out of me, and I felt that he's put in his foot in, and the way that he positions himself and that, it's just awful. And I saw it against Bodo. The two goals that Bodo scored against us as well in their place, I felt that Vicario was at fault. And again, I got that feeling on Sunday as well. Mr. What's his name? Odebert flatters to deceive, gets the ball, runs down that line. You think he's going to do something, gets to the last third of the pitch, and then all he does, he cuts the ball back. So he plays it, recycles it back into midfield, doesn't attack. Only once in the whole time that he was on the pitch, because he got substituted, didn't he? And he got substituted really, really late. But in the whole time that he was on that pitch, he attacked and went past, or he went to try and go past the defender, and the defender was Cash. Cash was who was marking him up against him once in the whole game. And if you only do it once, then what you're doing is you're passing the burden on to Kudos, and Kudos was being doubled and triple banked, so all the space was over on this side because they were all marking up. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, at the end of the day, flattered to deceive. Tell, I saw Tell make so many runs. Tell reminded me of Haaland, only in the sense of the runs that he makes for Man City. Haaland. Tell was making these runs, and he made them, and he ran to try and beat the offside trap. He's running diagonals and everything, and all you got to do is put the ball across. Had what's his name? Had Romero not got injured before the game, it's the kind of crossfield and over the top ball passes that Romero does. And then if he did that, or if we did that, we would have put him in a few times, because he was getting past Konza and Pau Torres with his crossfield runs. Xavi Simons, creativity, zilch, absolutely nothing. However, for tenacity in that, 10 out of 10. He was biting in the tackles. He was going in against Onana, and he was going in against Kamara, and he was biting into tackles. He was, slide tackling. He was flying into the tackles and that. But you don't want him doing that. You want your Paulinho to be doing that. You want your Bentancur to be doing that. I've now watched Tottenham 3 times at home this season, and twice we've lost. Because the only game I missed so far is Wolves. And having Paulinho and Bentancur start in your midfield, it's all right them starting in the midfield, but they don't progress the ball. They just do really nice tippy tappy to each other, and the progression of the ball, we're not progressing the ball. And to progress the ball, if they progress the ball, if Xavi Simons is your 10, then you've got to progress the ball to Xavi Simons. But people weren't feeding Xavi Simons either. There was no creativity. So, it's one of those that either the players sharpen up and they get better with the training and the techniques, because Thomas Frank doesn't become a bad manager overnight. Thomas Frank, when your Embuemos, your Vissers, your Tonys and people like that, all the people that he's made and into better players that have gone on to other clubs, they weren't the player that they are. They weren't them players when they first walked into Brentford. They became them players after 2 to 3 seasons of continued coaching them and upskilling the players. And that's exactly what he's going to have to do at Tottenham as well. And so part of me can't expect that this should happen straight away with the players. But yeah, I think either you do put your bag of gold into the sand and say, do you know what? We're going to let Thomas work with these players for the next couple of years, upskill them, make them better players, make us more competitive. Or you turn around and say, we haven't got the 2 years to wait. What we've got is we've got a certain amount of time to wait. And what we need to do in the meantime is bring in some other players, some oven-ready players. But if you bring the oven-ready players, then are you minimising the pass to others? It's a difficult one, but it's one that Tottenham have got to cross, and Tottenham have got to decide what to do. But yeah, to say I was disappointed would be an understatement after Sunday. It's just lackluster, and we were lackluster against Bournemouth as well when I went. And as I said, the stadium, you might as well, it's a coffin bowl. It's a coffin bowl. But anyway, people, I don't want to sound like I'm mooning. So what I will say is thank you very much for watching. Ryan, I hope we get you sorted out. Thanks to Jess and to Kuba for their support. And thank you for everyone that's watched. I will set up the show tomorrow. It will be for Thursday at 10 p.m. in the evening, and that will give an opportunity for people both here. So you don't have to rush from work, and people have got families in the afternoon. Drula's always cooking for her kids and that in the afternoon, so it probably might be a better time to do it in the evening, just to make sure that just to make sure that we can get more people on the show rather than me having to do work after the show. But yeah, thank you very much. Ryan, you've asked Brian to send you your number. Yeah, that's brilliant. You send it to me and I'll pass it on to the relevant people, and we'll stick you in a couple of WhatsApp groups. And then you can have a chat with people there. But no, thank you very much, everyone. I hope that you all have a restful evening, restful morning, restful afternoon, whatever it is for you in whatever part of the world you're watching from. And what I'm going to ask is, if you watch this on playback and when you're leaving scores in after the show, don't forget to hit the like, because the like only goes up by 2 at the end. Sorry, this is when after the show stream's finished. The like for the stream only goes up by 2 people, but yeah, 8 people and 10 people have put their scores in. So it's either that or people are putting the thumbs down. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone. Stay blessed. I will catch you all up on Thursday evening. And as always, it's come on, you Spurs.
Tell, Cockerell. He's just a true guy. You'll have a true time. Tell, Cockerell. Leave your troubles at the door. You know the game, you know the score. We're here to have fun, so holster that gun and read the writing on the wall. The Predictions League, done every week. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerell. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerell. Jose gets himself around. Always talking Spurs, wherever he is found, home or away. He always tips to win, throws the form book in the bin with a cheeky, knowing grin. Tell, Cockerell. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerell. The Predictions League, done every week. It just goes on and on and on and on. Why do I always get it wrong? Every time I play along. Tell, Cockerell. The show is so chilled, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerell. Goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerell. The show is so chill, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at.